Okay, greetings. Great rise and beautiful natural beings. Um, Today we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna play a little skit. So, Commander in Chief Sky, theoretically, hypothetically, allegedly, right? Commander in Chief Sky. I don't know, but when you start putting the pieces together, we're writing a skit now. We're writing a skit. History repeats itself. History repeats itself. History repeats itself. Say it with me. History repeats itself. Okay. So, remember the Alpha David that had natural purses on it, and it had all the people, all the countries or republics that could not purchase land in Florida. Okay. Well, something's off. Something's off. I don't hear people that watch the news complain about migrants migrating into the United States. Okay. I don't hear no rebels. I don't hear nobody talking about it. So are we only getting this information from social media? We need to understand that part. Okay. What is a migrant? Let me look that up real quick. Migrant. Okay. A migrant, a person who moves from a place to another, especially in order to find work or better living conditions. Tended to migrate or have migrated. Okay. What is an immigrant? A person who comes to live permanently in a foreign country. Do you see the difference? A migrant is not here to be permanent. An immigrant is here to be permanent. An animal or plant living or growing in a region to which it has migrated. So, a migrant comes to do a job, business, but an immigrant is trying to domicile or reside somewhere. Okay? Now, back to it. We're writing a skit. Commander in Chief Sky. What's really going on? Okay. There's a possibility the people that can't buy land in Florida are possibly a threat, right? And remember, I'm not a commander, I'm not a chief. I'm just writing a skit. I'm writing a book. We're working together here. We're coming up with a storyline, right? Now, and there's several other people, several other countries that can't buy land in Florida. But that means if you think about other places too, now you got different levels of shadow workers and elitists, right? There are some elitists in the United States. They're not playing that shit. Okay? They have assets, they have land, they have everything, right? So they're not gonna allow something to go down without protecting what's theirs, right? Even if they're not here, even if they jump ship, go to another country while all the shit hit the fan, right? The thing that's throwing me off is if they're barring people from purchasing in Florida, but they're still allowing them into the country as migrants for work, for their contract, whatever they signing up for, right? that's interesting. Not only that, remember, history repeats itself. So, by them being migrants, it's a possibility they could be forced to be on a front line. That's right. Give them work, give them pleasure, give them progress in life. They'll fight front line. Remember, most military guys are sent off to other countries. I mean, the United States citizens, right? They're sent off to other countries. So they're not even here to protect their own soil, right? They're so busy handling affairs they know nothing about somewhere else. But when you come somewhere, y'all hear my stomach? When you come somewhere as a migrant to work and get paid under contract, and you get all these free amenities, and you get all these free perks, you might be the first on the battlefield. But I'm just curious to know, a lot of people think that they're here to govern us. They're here to govern the civilian citizens of the United States. People feel that they're here to govern the natural people of the United States, the indigenous people of the United States. They don't think that they're here for anything else. So, who are we up against? You know, everybody say allegedly, oh, China and Russia stick it together well. Something's interesting about that. We have Chinese migrants. That's not adding up. That's not adding up. And it's not on the news. It's not publicized. And the borders are not being protected. But like I say, you don't see many people reporting news about migrants. You usually see it on social media with somebody interviewing the people. That's the difference. Like, why isn't Hollywood allowing more information about people migrating? Now, when it came down to the wars across seas, they made whole movies about it, right? Whole TV shows that dealt with nothing but Afghanistan and stuff, right? The Middle East. But when it comes down to these migrants, you're not seeing that. So you have to realize, are they here to be like the front line? Or are they here to keep you in your home? And you have to live your life in that order. You have to live your life in that order. Because there's no way that people say that we having problems with China and we having problems with Russia, but Russia is the only country that had flight restrictions and got disapproved by the UN and got cut off, right? We're still getting goods from China. So that's not adding up. So people are not putting two and two together. We're still getting goods from China. Everything we use come from China. China people migrating in. So I'm trying to figure out how they in cahoots. All I know is if they are against the natural people, the U.S. citizens. What are you going to do about it? Are you prepping? Are you preparing yourself to be without power? See, when they did the wiring, they rewired for these towers, these cell phone towers, and these military-grade weapon towers. They took the cell phone service and the data, they separated them. So they could jam the phones and cut off the internet and everything, but still use these weapons. So it's dual. So when they say they got the EMF wave frequencies, EMP frequencies, when they have these type of things, they had to separate them. They had to make them dual. So yeah, we could cut off their internet, their communication, their cell phones, and still be able to use these weapons within the cities, right? The inner cities. Think about it long and hard. Why you think they rewired everything and reran the cables? Because they had to separate the two. Remember, you got natural land, you got a natural persons, just like we're supposed to be using the landline. Who was that video I watched? I'm just going to repeat. I'm regurgitating this. I'm going to repeat this. I don't know if it was a video I watched or if I was talking to somebody on the phone, but they was like, or was it Dick Gregory? Probably was. But he said, the Matrix is all about the landline, staying connected to the landline, not getting those devices or cell phones and stuff, not allowing your space to be weaponized. And remember, all this is a skit, allegedly, possibility, and 4/8/24, whether anything go down or anything don't go down, that is a mass day. That is a mass day. Remember that. It is a mass day. It is a global day. Okay? Numbers don't lie. 4s, 8s, 12s, 2s. Yeah. Mass day. Mass media. So, one last skit. I shared a video that spoke about them not doing emergency, not allowing the citizens and the civilians of the United States not to be able to contact emergency rescue for any reason when they jam the frequency of the cell phones and the computers. And it's it's more like a do not resuscitate type thing with the emergency. So even though they're going to be under emergency, somebody's going to be telling them, no, you can't leave. No, you can't go check on nobody. They're actually going to be sitting back, just letting things play out. Like it was said in the video that they had the order to not basically resuscitate, not to act on the emergency. Okay? So just remember, tidal waves, be mindful of tidal waves and water April 8th, okay? It's very crucial on April 8th, you're nowhere by water, nowhere by a seaboard, okay? On April 8th, make sure that you're nowhere by, you're nowhere in mass groups. Try not to be in major cities. Just try to avoid group settings, period, April 8th. Now, if it's spiritually divine and you're doing a group setting, meditation, magic, voodoo, whatever, do what you got to do. But try to stay away from major groups. Try to stay away from the coastline. And try to stay away from areas that have natural disaster. Also, if you own property, you need to know your longitude and latitude of all your properties. Because if you want to claim your land, you might not have an address if a natural disaster happens. So you'll need to know your longitude and latitude of everything. I'm going to leave it there. All I know is you're supposed to take what you believe in with your heart, and you're supposed to remove what you don't believe in. And I do know for a fact that our borders, no, I don't know for a fact. I'm just going off social media and word of mouth. Because I believe in Hollywood all day, every day. I believe in the deception. Tell lies to your vision. Now, like I say, there's not enough Caucasian people acting like they got to take care of business. So that means that the nanoparticles and stuff done already probably compromise them, because they're a little too quiet and they're a little too acting like they don't know what the hell going on. Like, you hear it online, you hear it on social media, but I mean like the civilian side of it. They a little too they're not supposed to look worried. They're not supposed to be in fear, but they don't look like they are concerned about us losing anything, losing our rights, being in concentration camps. They don't move like that, okay? They don't move like that at all. They don't move like that at all. If you observe, I don't hear nobody talk about migrants coming across the border. None of that. Like, you know how you got old people that listen to the news all day, every day, rock themselves to sleep listening to the news? These people not talking about that. I do know that you need to stock up on water, clean water, because I'm not sure if we have like an acid rain or something, you're going to be able to drink that water, that rainwater. And who going to dig a hole for groundwater? Like, once you get in a situation where you know you need it, yeah, you'll dig the ground for groundwater. But I watch them dig wells in India all the time. So it's just something to think about, y'all. Try not to be deceived. Put two and two together. Nothing about this video is absolute. It's only theoretically, hypothetically, allegedly. Okay? I just don't know how two people are partnering up together, but one can't come over here and one can come over here. So who's actually being deceived? who's actually being deceived. One group can't come over here, but one group can come over here. One group can't come over here, but one group can come over here. They can ship their products and everything. And we should have enough troops to line up our borders. And why do they have to migrate? Why do they have to migrate? Why they can't be deployed? That's another thing to think about. Why these specific people can't be like deployed here or something. They're migrating. Think about it long and hard. But like I say, these people walk around here like they don't know nothing. And I know they're not listening to no podcast talking about it, because all the podcasts that used to talk about the government, the acts of wars, being portrayed by your government, freedom to the people, protecting the people, those people done been knocked off, most of them, okay, if they have any real audience. So I'm going to leave it there. All I know is, if it's true that they want to, the free-minded, free-will preppers, they want to get us, the people who are not willing to take the Jabberwocky or not willing to fall in line with their agenda. If we're under scrutiny, that's right, if we are under scrutiny, because there's a lot of things I feel like my creation got me. And if my creation don't got me, it's time to go. Period. So there we have it. I'm signing out on this one. Just be mindful that there may be some shit hitting the fan pretty soon. Pretty soon. Okay? You just got to be very, very mindful. I just feel like no matter what the situation is, everything is designed to be weaponized. And that is very, very bad. Because that would mean that our commander-in-chief of the United States and all of them are just psyops. Hypothetically, theoretically, allegedly, they would be psyops. Why? Because they feel like you shouldn't panic. That's always the excuse, to never panic. Like, they wanted people to relinquish their gun rights and everything to prepare for something that's about to happen. Something definitely is happening. Just saying that not enough people are aware of it. And it's sad that people just don't care. And then, what's even worse, they're going to stick their hand out and demand that their government do something about it, when their government is probably non-existent. There's a possibility that the government that we are thinking about, that we learned about, that we felt and believed protected us, you thought because they went to every other country kicking ass that they was going to be available to protect us, right? That may not be the case. Remember, they recruit men to separate them from the women and children so that they can't protect themselves. They send them to war so that they can't protect themselves. It's actually pretty sad. But you might need to figure out who bought the country, who sold the country, because it has switched hands several times. And you may want to figure out who the puppets are, who the puppet masters are, and why the people are not able to be public office the way they're supposed to be. The people are supposed to be the public office, the natural people, the natural persons, and understand why people have dual privileges in the United States. Remember, you got to be a natural person to be in public office. You can't be a dead corpse. And remember, all this is a possibility, theoretically, hypothetically, and allegedly. I'm going to leave it there. I don't know why this morning I was on my commander-in-chief mindset, but we have to figure out, are these frontliners? Are these stealth operating people? You know what stealth operating people are, right? Are these people, do they have like some type of transmission in them and can be operated and controlled at any time? Also, someone mentioned the measles vaccine, said that there was an outbreak of measles within some of the migrants. So you have to be mindful of things not being what they seem, being weapons, bioweapons. There's so many different type of ways to weaponize things. It's ridiculous. So there we have it. Unearth the Magic. The truth will definitely set you free. Tap into your inner worth, because you're going to need it.